welcome back to Total Spotfest. JJ Brownlee, Jamie Faulkner coming at you, fresh off of a wonderfully long weekend of trekking up to and from Iowa with some good friends of ours for Revolver's show. We are back with another episode of Total Spotfest. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. A new look Total Spotfest, new intro, new little graphics here. JJ had some fun on the computer over the weekend, but we do appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, give us a comment down below, like, subscribe, do all the things. Hit a holler at us at Twitter at Total Spotfest. I think we need to encompass a little bit here about this past weekend, Jamie, to start. So how you been, man?
I've slept.
Good.
I finally got some sleep.
Good, because
that was a struggle.
Yeah, so why don't you tell them? Okay, so first of all, Revolver in Iowa, Pro Wrestling Revolver, Swerve's house was great show, lots of fun. We went with our good friend Robin and Kevin, and took the minivan. Jamie did. We all met at my place and kind of trekked up north. But before that, let's talk about your day, because this little compass, and any parents out there are going to totally appreciate this. I know.
So we'll start actually the night before. Let's start the night before.
Okay, that's cool.
And this kind of sets the tone. So my wife and I have like an adult game night. We went out with some friends and did an adult game night. Played like Dare or Drink or Drink or Dare or something like that. Whatever. And played some other games. It was fun. And we're 45 minutes away from the house. So we're like, okay, we'll stop around midnight. That's a good time to stop. We didn't get out of there till about 1:30-ish. And then got home. It was like 2:30-ish. And then Jamie couldn't fall asleep. And I think I finally fell asleep around 4.
Oof.
4, yeah. And then I had to get up. Now this is where it gets fun. Then Megan had practice for her travel softball team in the morning at 9 a.m. in a town that is exactly 1 hour and 7 minutes from my house. So I fell asleep around 4-ish. We'll say, Aaron's psychotic say 3:30. Okay, we'll say 3:30.
Either way.
And then I had to get up at 6:30. To get ready, and then we had to be out of the house by 7:45-ish, just to be safe. So
roughly three hours of sleep.
Roughly around 3 hours of sleep. So I had to drive an hour north, from where I am. So I'm passing JJ's,
which is where we were meeting, because I live not far from 35, but I live in the northern part of the metro. So it was easiest and made sense. I have a nice quiet street. It ends in a cul-de-sac, right? Yeah. Nice quiet street. Everybody can park their cars, not a lot of cross traffic, safe, clean, real easy, not far from the highway. Good place to kind of shoot off if you're going north. So it goes past me.
So I have to go past him. And then practice ran long. This is the other piece.
Of course it did.
Practice ran long. It was supposed to go from 9 to 11. Didn't get over till 11:30. So we booked it home. We got home right around 1, actually. And I'm supposed to meet at his house around 1:30. So get home, change real fast because I was like hoping to get a shower in. Yeah, that was not a thing. Literally hopped in the car and booked it right back. So Jamie, right at this point, has already put 2 hours plus in the car driving at this point.
And sitting through our softball practice of several hours.
Yeah.
And
it was a little chilly outside. It was fine, though. Then we make the official trek up. And we thought the doors opened at 6 for this, and the doors opened at 7 for this.
Right,
so we had an extra hour to kill.
I mean, that's usually what 7 o'clock doors at show at 7, right? We're like that makes sense. That's pretty much standard fair stuff, right? No, doors were at 7.
Yeah, it was. Okay. So the show didn't start till 8. So we go up there. We do some fun things. We ate tasty tacos. If you live around Des Moines, or you ever go to Des Moines, get yourself some tasty tacos. Excellent tacos.
They lived up to their name. It was very tasty. Highly
And
recommend.
then now there's a burger joint that's supposed to be pretty good that I got recommended to
You
me
got,
now.
I got the same mess. Yeah, it's a buddy of ours from work. He
Bebop.
goes, yeah, he told us about
Bebops.
them. So next time, yeah.
So for next time we'll do
It's
burgers.
hilarious. So we're sitting there at this taco. I gotta tell them this. So we're sitting at this taco joint. We finished our tacos, and I think Robin got like an enchilada also, and you know, UB just were straight tacos. We're like, give us 3 of these things, and they were probably could have done well with 2. Honestly, they were good size. Anyway, so we're sitting there, and Kev had a burrito and whatever. So we got done with our food, and we're sitting there, and we're like, oh crap, we have time to kill. So everybody's on their phone, like Googling something to do for the next like 2 hours, right? Because we didn't time this very well at all.
No. So we went to an arcade, which was awesome.
A really cool. It was a smaller one, but it was intimate, but it was very nice and cool. They had a milkshake, a malt, like a soda fountain bar. I was like, hell yeah. It was a cool little spot.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Then we go to the show, and then the show ran way longer than any of us were expecting, and we actually left during the main event because there was a point towards the end I was getting really tired, and I actually got myself a Red Bull during the main event just so I could stay awake. And I'm glad I did, because if I didn't, that drive home would have been even more dangerous. So we got done there
11:30, I want to say, is when
11:30-ish is when we left, and we got road snacks, everything like that. We didn't get out of there till midnight.
Just before midnight.
Yeah.
We made good time both ways too, so that helped.
Yeah. We drove the entire way back, or I drove the entire way back. At this point, it's 2-ish. We get gas, and then we get back. We're officially back in Casey at your house just right before 3 o'clock.
Right, like 2:40, I think, is when I stepped in my front door. So
2:40,
and the whole way back. So I'm riding shotgun because I'm big tall son of a bitch. So give me the leg room, right? Even though the minivan and everything. Kevin, Robin are in the captain's chairs in the second row, and the whole time, Kevin and I are very cognizant of Jamie's lack of sleep and lots of driving. So we are continuously talking for the entire trip back with him, talking about movies and music, lots of good music talk. Kevin, if you don't know, he was formerly from the 8-Bit Geek podcast. They recently shut down after a long run. He's got a Twitch though. He's a good friend of ours. Go check out Kevin WK on Twitch. But he's a big. Me and him have very similar taste in music, and we're both very big music nerds, more so than the movie nerd like Jamie is, right? But we're just keeping him up. We're just going to keep talking the entire way back, right?
It was great.
Thankfully.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, but then you still had to drive 40 minutes after you got done dropping us off.
And that was the worst. That was by far the worst. My eyes were starting to shake towards the end. Like, it was bad. And then, like, I got home just in the right amount of time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I couldn't fall asleep as soon as I got home.
Karma.
I didn't get to
enough.
sleep till like 4:30, but then the wife let me sleep till 11. She was super cool about it. Like, yeah. But the next day I was a shit. I was worth nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I knew that I wasn't going to make Easter service, that next morning, because I know I was like, we're getting back late and all this stuff. And no matter what, even if you're not driving, it's just road trips. They just wear you out, right? Sitting in the car for that long, the vibration, I don't know what it is, but they always just kind of wear you out. So I slept in like normal, but, went over to my dad's house, had a nice Easter dinner. The show was really good. Now, they didn't have enough chairs set up at first. So when we got there last time, they had everything already pre-set up. So they had a bunch of chairs in the raises. And first thing that me and Jamie said when we got in there was like, there's not nearly as many seats set up. That's weird, right? Well, turns out chairs were delayed. I don't know. The Horizon Event Center is like a big field house, but it's like a multi-sport, there's multiple different, components to it. There's like a whole basketball arena with a bunch of basketball courts. There's several like sport fields, and this is in one of them, in essence, is what it is. So I don't know if they had stuff diverted for other things, whatever. So we were trying to find this out because we got the GAs. We didn't get the reserved seats. So the first 4 rows are like the reserved seating. If you buy your tickets for first row, whatever it is. We just got GA tickets, which is fifth row and beyond. So there, we were trying to figure out where to go, and then I go holler at one of the guys. We got more chairs coming here. Cool, right? So we wait for them to get the chairs, start setting them up, and then we get at the end of this one row. Like, this is perfect. We're on the corner. We don't have the light shining in our eye from production because they're on Fight TV, and it's gonna be great. There's a big open space in front of us. That was a problem. But we're like, it's gonna, yeah, so we won't have anybody standing up. It would be great. It'd be fantastic. We didn't count on about 3 or 4 rows in front of us. The people's kids would be the entire show standing in this fucking little like open area directly in our line of sight if we're seated. The whole show. So that's
a little rough.
Sucked. And I personally, being, a big tall guy, right? I don't like to be that one who stands up because I know that the second I get up for anything, I'm blocking whoever the hell's behind me. Guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
So, but that being said, it didn't dampen everything. There was some great stuff on this show. We got to see Deonna Purrazzo live. My first time seeing Deonna Purrazzo live, actually. I don't know about you, but
same. That was my first time ever seeing her live.
She defended the Reina de Reinas championship. We had a bunch of good stuff. It turns out there's going to be Ruby Soho. Hey, Ruby. It's going to be at their next Iowa show, July 9th. So you know where JJ is going to be in Iowa. Just saying. Jamie's might have some commitments. We don't know yet, but we'll figure that out. They opened the show with Moose versus Speedball Mike Bailey, which, I mean, that's a way to open a show right there.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Moose is a specimen. Just fantastic. I don't know. You had a double take because you didn't realize he was an offensive lineman in the pros.
Yeah, I had no idea.
He doesn't look it. He gotten more shredded since then.
More shredded Julius out, man.
I thought you were going to slip on me there, but
oh no, I got you.
That was great. We had a 4-way match that made JJ's nipples twinge. It was Trey Miguel versus Ace Austin versus Lindsay Dorado versus Blake Christensen for basically their version of the X Division title. What do they call it? The Revolver remix title, something like that.
Title.
Yeah.
Remix title, yeah.
And that was just flippy, spinny shit all over the place. It was fantastic. And, other good stuff. The surprise probably of the night was the scramble, because it was a all Haas scramble. 6-person, like I think the smallest person in there, I don't know weight, and Havoc, a returning Jessica Havoc was one of the people, and then there was 5 big old meaty men, and the smallest one was 299. So there was a lot of beef, and Beef is the man who actually won the match, a guy named Beef. But it was
his name was Beef.
I don't know, but I loved that so much because it's just like, why fuck around with it? I'm Beef.
Madman
Beef. Madman Fulton was in it too. That match surprised the shit out of me because these big men are doing something big men shouldn't do, and it was so much fun. The best match I think of the night was Swerve versus Athena, though, by far.
It was so damn good. Like, I can't. Like, Swerve's excellent. Athena's excellent, but seeing them together, one just really makes me just crave seeing Athena on my TV screen ASAP. Because she's
we will. Whether it's AEW or Impact, or we will see her soon. I know it. There's no way. The talent that she has is just stupid. And I mean, she did this kind of slide out to the outside into a power bomb of Swerve from the apron onto a railing that had been propped up. Got to see a nice looking eclipse, which I don't know if she's still calling it that, but we
don't know what she calls it now because she's Athena, a goddess,
right? Which I kind of think. I think that she, and we said this. I think she should go for kind of Greek name stuff, right? Call it something, Persephone's arrow, or I don't know, something, whatever. But
Pandora's box.
That's fantastic. I like that. Whatever, something of that nature. Do yourself a favor if you haven't already. I mean, you can probably go buy the replay on Fight.tv. If nothing else, find this match. Look up on YouTube, go on Twitter. This match was fantastic. The main event was actually not this, though, even though it was what the card was named after, and it was not this. In fact, friends that we went with are starting to get up, like, let's go, time to go. Like, we have another match. What do you mean? They're like, how's that not the main event? And it should have been because, like Jamie said, we ran long. It was Rich Swann defending the PW Revolver title against JT Dunn. And that would have been a lot of fun. Like, they immediately went out to the crowd. They were right by us, brawling, using chairs, the whole 9 yards. But like Jamie said, tiredness was setting in, and we were just, okay, let's go. So, Revolver's great. Revolver's great promotion. We liken it. It's kind of like a spiritual offshoot, if you want to think about, of Journey Pro. If you could say it like that, it's got a similar feel to Journey Pro. I mean, kind of how its makeup is, right? It's got some bigger names, we have Moose and Ruby Soho is going to be there, and Swerve, and not saying Journey Pro won't get those people. I mean, shit, we got Effie coming next week.
Yeah, we do.
Well, Bussy in total, but I'm just saying, I think it's just, it's size wise, it's a little bit bigger of a promotion, but it's well worth the time. They're traveling now, so their next show is in Vegas, part of Double or Nothing weekend. Then they're in Ohio, then back at their home base in Iowa. I dig that too, because they're not solely traveling, but they're doing a little bit, and that's a real cool way to do it, right? Spread out a little bit, but keep coming back to your core. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely agree.
All right. So, speaking of Journey Pro, for those of you who have not, we will keep saying this until they sell out, but tickets are still available as of today, the 21st of April. Go Journey Pro KC, 28th, 29th. So next Thursday and Friday. Yes, Jamie found out today that coincides with the draft, because he was all excited to watch the draft tomorrow night. And I'm like, or tonight. I'm like, Jamie, that's next week. He goes, wait, what?
I thought I had the 22nd penciled in as the draft.
That would have been perfect for our schedules. Yes, it would.
It's okay. No. I get to see Effie instead, so all is good in the world.
And you got internet. You can follow the draft tracker on ESPN on your phone. It's all good. Yeah.
Show can. All
right. So look out next Tuesday. We got an interview we're going to release. So we sat down recently with Chris from Journey Pro, Chris Mowry. We talked a lot of things. We talked about the card, talked about Jeremy Wyatt, and talked about the Missouri Athletic Commission. You definitely want to tune in, if nothing else, to hear us get into that. So this Tuesday, we're gonna put that out there. So keep an eye out. If you're following us on YouTube, you can hit that little bell button. You'll get notified whenever we put anything out. So I know we don't always have interviews that we always release. It's kind of sporadic. So if you want to be notified, hit the bell. If not, just keep an eye out. On Tuesday, we will have a preview with Chris, one of the owners of Journey Pro KC. So be on the lookout for that.
Oh yeah, it's exciting. And plus, we predict the winner of the tournament.
Yep. I need to actually print off the bracket and do the whole send in my bracket thing too, since we did that already with him over the internet. Yeah,
and because we love you guys.
You get him the tease.
That's it.
That's
all you get.
If you want to see more, you got to be there. April 28th.
Percento. It's gonna be amazing.
All right, so that's amazing. Everything's amazing. Let's talk about some other amazing stuff, maybe, because I heard that you have numbers from this past week of wrestling.
I do. I really do. And it was a bad week for wrestling, except for one show. One show was in the positive. Everybody else went down.
And everybody. And I'm just smiling because I know what show it is, and it's interesting. So let's go to it.
Well, it definitely wasn't the former flagship of WWE, Monday Night Raw. It went down. They went from 2.101. Yeah, they hit the 2 million mark. Well, they're back where they usually are.
The Rhodes effect isn't happening? Oh, my God. Yeah. I'm sorry. I like Cody Rhodes. It's fine. But, yeah.
They were down almost 300,000 people. They went down to 1.803.
which feels like where they were. That was like where they kind of settled in that range, right? 1.6, 1.7, 1.8. That's kind of where they were pre-WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
Just saying. Maybe if you had like Alexa Bliss on TV instead of whatever the hell you have on there now with you stuff. You just saying. Just saying.
Yes. NXT was also down. They weren't down near as much. They were only down 21,000 people.
Okay.
They went from 631 to 610, so it was not a big loss there.
And I think we mentioned this a few weeks ago that even though maybe their new rebrand isn't our shtick, they've at least been consistent. So they seem to have found their audience for what it's worth. So, yeah. Okay.
I think so. And then Dynamite went down 12,000 people.
Once again, same thing as nominal, right? That's around the air. You'd like to see him stay above that mil mark, but you're within range. The demo was really good, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was. They went from 989 to 977, but their key demo was actually still really strong.
Okay, I'm good with that.
All right, and then the big winner of the week.
It's not hard.
Up 40,000 people, which is almost 50% increase. Impact Wrestling went from 89 to 123.
And schizophrenic, like I said. And they'll probably do good this coming week here, and then maybe even the week after Rebellion, and then they'll dip down. Good. I'm hoping that maybe that 89 was an aberration. They stay up there, but let's see.
So too, but we will see. SmackDown was down almost 100,000. They went from 2.230 down to 1.142, but they did get dinged in the key demo actually pretty hard. They were the number one show on cable for Friday nights. That's not saying much.
That's not.
But yeah, so it's a thing.
Well, they're flirting with going under too. They keep going in this direction.
And then Rampage went down, but Rampage also had the special start time.
7 Eastern, 6 Central.
Yes. That kind of dinged them a little. They went from 600 to 482.
Yeah. Not the greatest.
It was an okay show. Okay show.
AEW is interestingly, and we're going to talk about Rampage in a second, but AEW had a second show on the weekend because they had Battle of the Belts 2 on Saturday.
Ooh, yes.
You have that number in front of you, right?
I do. I really do. Thanks for the...
God, I'm sending you up twice for the stupid-ass shtick. All right.
Hey, gotta be committed to the bit. Battle of the Belts 2 had 527,000 people watch it. We were not one of them. I didn't even record it. Not even gonna lie.
I totally forgot. I was going to, but I forgot. Totally forgot.
I was able to find the Sami Scorpio Sky match. That's the only one I really cared about.
I watched like the highlights. I watched the highlights on AEW's YouTube is what I did for all of them. I was like, I'll watch the highlights.
We knew Thunder was gonna win.
Right, and the only other match was Gresham versus Dalton Castle, which, truth be told, is probably the match I would have wanted to see the most. You know, Dalton Castle. If you've never seen him, he has a very unique presentation. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
So we were in Iowa. We totally forgot. I forgot, and we didn't catch Battle of the Belts, but. The big takeaway from that was that Sami won the TNT title again, much to the chagrin of the crowd, and he won it with some nefarious means as well. Paige Van Zandt comes out and gets in Taze Conti, and they're fighting, and Ethan Page is getting involved. He gets cut open around his eye, he's bleeding, and all this stuff, and all these things, and then. In the commotion, Sami gives Sky a low blow, does the GTH, and gets the pin. So, turning Sami heel, probably the smart move considering the heat that he has right now on him. Whether it's warranted or not, I don't know. I don't understand where the heat's coming from.
I do.
Oh, I mean, but why though? Is it just because they're so PDA centric, him and Tay, or like why?
Because it's a bit much. Like, I'm happy for him, and we've talked about this. I am happy for him. I am happy that they are happy. But damn, okay, like I don't even watch Sami's vlog anymore because it's just them. Just I love you so much. Oh no, I love you so much. It's just like, okay, we get it. We get it.
It feels like, and for if you haven't watched anything, you don't want to commit to this. Watch Ethan Page's promo post Battle of the Belts. That is something to write home about. That is proof pudding why we love Ethan Page so much. Not why Jamie's wife loves Ethan Page, but why Jamie and I love him is that because my God, this man with a microphone is gold, and there's a reason that people in the Connecticut company are very interested in him as well because of that. He's masterful, but he's right. It is a lot of. It reminds me of that couple, your friend you had in high school, right? He's your boy, he's your buddy, right? He gets a girlfriend, and then his life is consumed with that girl. That's what this is. It is a high school puppy romance thing, the way that they treat it. Now, they're doing that on purpose to get heat? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's just how it, they really like each other and cool, right? But
yeah,
I get it. I do get the heat. So, Rampage itself, I would say, was the better of the two shows. So, Rampage was highlighted by the Texas Death Match between Adam Cole and Hangman Adam Page. And to be honest, we just saw Adam Page do this exact same thing a few weeks ago in a Texas Death Match against Lance Archer. So, I mean, I thought for sure maybe this is them taking the belt off of him. Because why would they have him go through the exact same match and have it be the same way to keep the belt? Well, I was wrong. They did. It was still fun to watch. Cole and Page is always fun to watch, Always fun to watch. Especially with the way that it ended. So, all the stuff that's pulled out, this thing here, there's blood. It's a death match. It's cool, right? And then, Hangman goes under the ring and pulls out a chair with couples like ropes of barbed wire stapled onto it. Rips them off, starts to wrap it around his arm. He's wrapping it backwards. I don't know why. And so he ends up just grabbing it like it's like a big ring of barbed wire and punching Cole in the face. And then goes to put it around his head and give him a dead eye from the apron onto a table down below, wearing, and I'm not kidding you, a crown of barbed wire thorns. This is Good Friday, folks.
Yeah, and I guess there was some Christians who got super offended. I'm like, I'm Christian. I didn't get offended. Yeah, I'm one of those people that doesn't get offended very easily. Like, there's a lot of people out there who get offended like at the drop of a hat. Like, you wore plaid on a Tuesday. Oh my God, there's people like that, and I felt like that was that kind of knee jerk moment. Like, it's just symbolism. People just
I don't even think it was necessarily intentionally meant to be Jesus Christ crucified on Good Friday. It may be, but it just kind of sort of happened that way, and it was like, oh, okay, it's whatever. The match stuff was cool. The rest of the show had some interesting. You had Gun Club versus the Blackpool Combat Club. Yuta ends up kicking out of Billy Gunn's finisher and gets the pin on Billy Gunn. Yuta's Mr. Over right now. Sorry, Fuego, you are no longer the most over thing in wrestling. Yuta, fucking Wheeler Yuta, man,
fucking Yuta.
I love it. Every time
respect behind that name.
Oh, and who's putting him over the most? William goddamn Regal. Every time they have a match, he's on the mic and he is talking up young Mr. Yuta, young Mr. Wheeler. It's fantastic for him because we've been clamoring for this. If you're a listener, you know we've been yelling about the wastes of Yuta for a while. So that's fantastic. Butcher had a warm-up match. There's some promos. Dustin Rhodes challenged CM Punk to a match that happened last night on Dynamite. And then you had the last match was a qualifier for the women's qualifier for the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Invitational Tournament. It's too long. It's too long a title. Too long. The women's Owen, though, was Robin Renegade versus Ruby Soho. Hey, Ruby. And much better than the Marina Shafir match we got a week earlier, or earlier in the week, let's put it that way. And the Robin Renegade pulled the whole twin switcheroo thingy. Was caught in the corner, scraped Ruby's eyes, went under the ring, and then her twin comes out and she's in the ring, and then they do some switching back and forth. Bellas did this. Shit, the Killer Bees did this. I mean, it's a thing, right? But Ruby is awesome. Ruby gets the victory. Ruby's in the tournament. JJ's happy. Rampage wasn't bad. It was fine. It was, once again,
fine.
Bang for your buck. Best hour of wrestling out there. It's moving back to this regular time slot for this coming week. But the playoffs are going on TNT for NBA, and the NHL playoffs will be starting soon. That's going to be on the Turner Networks on the TNT. So I feel like for the next couple months, we might get a moving target for Rampage. They're trying to counteract it with some of the stuff that they're booking, every week. But I don't know. I mean, you moved it up 3 hours, right? That's a big Swift for any steady audience to kind of follow with. So here's hoping, but that was Rampage. Battle of the Belts. It's all good. All right. Well, that led us into Dynamite from last night. So we're back in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Jamie, why don't you go ahead and tell us about Dynamite?
I'm sorry, it was not in Pittsburgh. It was in Brittsburgh.
Which you can buy a Brittsburgh, Pennsylvania t-shirt. I almost did yesterday.
Of course you did.
Well, yeah, it's got all the things. It's got all the
things. All the things. So, it was a good show. I'll run through the card real fast because there's a lot of stuff I really want to get into. First match was CM Punk versus the Natural Dustin Rhodes. Excellent match, actually. Winner CM Punk. Something happened after that. That's what I really want to talk about. Then after that, you had the Blackpool Combat Club, which, by the way, did you happen to see freaking Bryan Danielson's
white BCC
variant?
Shirt? Yes, I did.
I want that one, and it's not on Pro Wrestling Tees. I don't want the black one, but I will say this. Wheeler Yuta's new gear is
new blood inspired. Yeah.
Oh my god!
I think, and I don't know if he meant to do that whole thing with taking his, because I don't know if he meant to bleed that much when he got beaten into the BCC, right? But for those of you who don't remember, he took the blood after he shook hands with everybody, right? And he wrote BCC on his chest. That's the inspiration behind this new design and his new and his. I think that might have all been a riff. I think that might have been all. Ooh, that's gold. Let's capture it. I don't know if that was planned out or what, but that's so cool. They're running with it. I love it.
Yeah, that's the great thing about AEW. They definitely do run with things. So, Blackpool Combat Club versus Dante Martin, Lee Moriarty from
Pittsburgh. Yep.
And Brock Anderson.
And the crowd there. Pittsburgh's one of those interesting cities. It's very similar demographically to Kansas City, size and sort of similar demographics. It's got a little bit more of a history, continuous. Kansas City has a rich history as well, but in a different limelight. Pittsburgh's history is a little, because they're a little further closer to the East Coast, so they get a little more rub off of some of those older promotions where we had Harley Race and then some other stuff.
Yeah.
But they're very astute. They're a very astute crowd. They're not quite like a Philly crowd that is hot, right? But everybody in the building knew where Lee Moriarty was from ahead of time, and they'd seen him. So it's one of those things. He definitely got the rub. I love it. I love seeing it. Smart crowds.
Well, shocker. Lo and behold, Blackpool Combat Club got the dub.
Yep.
Excellent match, though. I really enjoyed it. After that, you had
there's a whole bunch of promos.
The announcement, right? Was the announcement next?
Well, you had a bunch of promos, and you had Tony's big announcement. The promos or whatever. You had Young Bucks. You had the Undisputed Elite did a little promo. Cool, whatever. Then you had Samoa Joe and Jay Lethal did a little video promo, which I will say this. Did a better job of packaging the whole Satnam Singh thing than his debut did last week.
Oh, God, that debut was terrible.
Right. But this video package they did, I felt was better because it wasn't focused on Satnam. It was all basically Lethal and Joe talking to each other, which is gold. But you had Satnam as this enforcer bit, and the big monster, that hired gun, which is what he is. Is the presentation with the whole blackout and all that stuff was just bad. This alone was a better presentation of him as a character that I'm cool with, right? So I just want to say that because we were super critical about Satnam. Maybe not the fairest thing, but they did walk right into it. This was better. Then you had the big announcement.
So we'll hold the announcement because we have lots of thoughts on that. At least I do.
Okay, all right.
All right, match 3, Wardlow versus the Butcher. It was just big men slapping meat time.
Big meaty men slapping meat.
Yeah, Wardlow won with a lot of power bombs. There you go.
I spoiled 4 straight power bombs on the Butcher, who is not a small man. I mean,
6'3", 273 pounds.
Yep, he's JJ size.
Mm-hmm. Match 4 was the Owen Hart Foundation tournament qualifying match of Kyle O'Reilly versus Jungle Boy.
What did you think of this match?
Okay, you want my honest opinion? Better than I was expecting.
Me too. Because I heard Kyle O'Reilly in a singles match, and I immediately thought, "Oh fuck, it's Cool Kyle."
And it was not Cool Kyle. It was previous Kyle, the good Kyle O'Reilly. And for me personally, I loved seeing Jungle Boy do some technical shit instead of just doing flippy spinny shit. And it made my heart happy because he had a good, healthy mix. So as much as I bitched about Darby Allin, which I'm going to here in a little bit, because he's a one-trick pony, this was great to see Jungle Boy in a non-one-trick pony moment. Like, he put on a hell of a match with Kyle, and it was really damn good. It was honestly probably my match.
It was my match of the night. I wasn't expecting it, and there's nobody else got involved on either side. Nobody's even at ringside, which is great. I have said for a while that I believe they gave him the belts and keeping the belts on Jurassic Express as a way to elevate Jungle Boy because of the inevitable singles run he's going to have. He's not going to break up, and they're not going to have a falling out with Luchasaurus, but he's going to go on a singles run because that's his long-term destiny. He's a pillar, right? Last night, he acted like a pillar. And part of that was probably due to Kyle too, because Kyle's 17 years as a pro wrestler, 16 years as a pro whatever, right?
He's good.
He knows what he's doing, but Jungle Boy looked like he was the man controlling that match, which I know was the intention, and I was all the better for it because I was thinking this is going to be this is a whatever match. It was fantastic. It was Cash's Catch Can. You had some flippy spinny shit. You had no shenanigans, unbelievably.
No shenanigans, catch wrestling, technical wrestling, some high fly, but it was great. And Kyle O'Reilly wins and he advances, which I really like as the win. I really like that. That got me because I was not expecting it.
Yeah, and because if you turn WWE if you know the outcome of every match, so that's fantastic. Now, so far as qualified for the men's tournament are two old Ring of Honor guys, former Ring of Honor champion and a current Ring of Honor champion / former Ring of Honor champion in Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe and Kyle O'Reilly are the two who have qualified thus far.
Yeah. After this, we had Hook's debut on Dynamite going against Anthony Henry. Hook looked great. I continually am impressed by Hook as much as he's green. You can tell he's green, but man, he is actually doing some good things. But the aftermath of this match is what got Jamie excited. And right at the end of the match, we'll just talk about this because it'll take just a couple seconds.
Just blow right through it. It's fine.
So Danhausen appears and tries to curse Hook, and Hook doesn't get cursed
again,
and he does Red Rum for the win. Shocker. And then this just sets off Danhausen. Danhausen just got pissed. He's like, "This is crap. How about instead of me trying to curse you, I fight you?" So we are gonna get Danhausen and Hook fighting, and I eventually believe in my heart of hearts, no Bruce Pritchard, this is gonna create Hookhausen.
Hookhausen. I'm with you because, I mean, Hook needs. He's green, not terrible green, but he's still young. He's a young guy, and his presentation's good. We like it. But he is a little bit of a one-trick pony. He puts on some good matches, but he also hasn't really faced anybody really tough. Yeah, this is a way to get him in through that door until he's ready to stand on his own 2 feet to go up against Jungle Boy or Darby or Sami or Ethan or whomever. So
I will say that match will be very nice, very evil.
Yep. Also, the crowd loved it. First, Danhausen is wrestling in the Glory Pro. Is it Glory Pro or is it Grandal? One of the St. Louis versions. I think it's Glory Pro.
Glory Pro. Glory Pro.
He's wrestling in one of the upcoming Glory Pro shows. So he's obviously right there with being cleared, right, medically. So cool. First match is going to be, sounds like, against Hook. Okay. Who would have thought if I told you a year ago on AEW TV you would have Taz's son Hook versus Danhausen?
Insane.
And then that'd be like the fans' favorite match, right? Who would have thought that?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. They will that's just going to be such a fun one. After this, you had Sami. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, this little Sami promo.
But there was some stuff in there that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, we'll go back to it. That's cool.
Yeah. Then we had the Owen Hart women's tournament qualifying.
You also had House of Black. You also had House of Black promo. Which
we're definitely gonna touch on that. Or Heather the librarian would not talk to us.
I just want to make. I don't want to anger Heather. I want to make sure you didn't just skip over that. Yes. Okay, good.
And then and by the way, peeps, if you like just books, wrestling, whatever, follow Heather on YouTube. She is a good follow. She's got some good videos on there, and they're not our marathons. They're like 6-10 minutes, like perfect. Anyway, I follow personally, just saying. All right, so we had Dr. Britt Baker DMD going against Danielle Camilla crushed it.
Camilla, like the princess of or whatever. Camilla
Khan. Camilla. Okay. Anyway, this match. I'll go through it real quick. It was great to see Britt back, honestly, and it was weird to see somebody be more of a heel than Britt, but obviously since they're in Brittsburgh, made a lot of sense. Because Danielle was super heely, and then here's Britt just getting the fans on her side, everything. It was really cool. Britt gets to win, obviously. She did happen to have two stealers. Najee Harris, the star running back, young running back. I think he will be fairly good. And then your guys' tight end, Freiermuth.
Pat Freiermuth, who is with the Penn.
Right.
Yeah, you got it right. Freiermuth. Both rookies actually, and Freiermuth went to Penn State, which is where Britt did her undergrad. She did her undergrad there and got her dental degree at Pitt, which is kind of like going to K-State and KU. But I digress.
Yeah.
It was cool as all. I do love the fact that, and afterwards Britt did a quick little promo where she basically shot on the whole women's division, which
women's division.
I have a question about that. I'm trying to follow up in a second, but I found as a Steeler fan, I loved it. And Najee is having the time of his life at the ringside. And at the end of it, she did the promo and she handed the mic and she turned over and she handed it to Najee. And Najee's like, "Oh, sweet, I get to talk at a wrestling show." And he feels like he's going to cut a promo, and they cut that thing off faster than shit. They cut it off faster than the Chiefs cut us off in the playoffs last year. They really did.
Oh yeah.
It was just like,
yeah.
nope.
We were in the car. We were in the car listening to it on the way home from Wrestling Revolver.
Last Wrestling Revolver show. And I was like, okay, we're done. We don't have to listen to this anymore. This is definitely over.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was good. Well, third time in Pittsburgh. First time Britt was, let's be honest, a mid-carder. Wasn't really that. So it is what it is. But she was big time heels both 2 times. But she's always been face in front of her home crowd, hometown, whatever.
Because she can't not be.
She's still herself. So it's not, to me, out of character, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Then at this point, we had a quick Serena Deeb, Hikaru Shida. I'm getting actually kind of pumped because that was a really good cut promo on that. Like, that match will fuck. It's going to be a Philly street fight too.
I want it to either open or end the show next week.
Yeah, and I think they're going to have 2 women's matches next week.
I hope to God. Well, here is what Britt said. This is a question I had for you, Jamie. Mm-hmm. She basically said that, I've been gone for a few weeks and proved that without me, the women's division is absolute garbage. She's going to town on it, and shoots on Jade, on Marina, on everybody. Ruby, lots of shooting on Ruby, which...
Hi, Ruby.
Which wonder if that's previewing the finals again of the tournament, or if there's but she did a lot of focus on Ruby, which is interesting. Do you think that the efforts of the women's division booking for the past few weeks was intentional to set up this big angle for Britt?
Big angle for Britt or big angle for Ruby?
Big angle for either. So basically, because the outcome of what this promo did after her match was basically say, look how shit this division is without me. You can't do anything. Which, of course, somebody's going to rise to meet her. Probably Ruby. Hey, Ruby. And
or Tony, because she did shoot on Tony, too.
Either way, But you know what I'm saying? It's like, to me, it felt... Maybe it's just me being, over analytical. But it's like, was this an intentional, kind of that, where you, tank to get a high draft pick, thing? Mm-hmm. Do you feel like maybe they did that? Or is JJ reading too much into that and she was just being a sharp promo giver?
She's a sharp promo giver, man.
I'm just reading too much into it. Okay.
That's what she does, man. She's so good on the mic. We saw her develop, and it was beautiful. It is 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to throw that out you because part of me, once again, my wheels were turning. And maybe that's why it was so shit for the last couple of weeks. But whatever.
No, I don't think they did it. They're trying to get the light on other people, and then got crickets for Marina Shafir. I think
who for what it's worth. I don't know if you don't always catch Dark and Elevation. I know you got 18,000 activities going on.
Yes,
but I did. I caught. So she was on Dark this week, which was shot on location actually last week as well. And a much better match. She still didn't get large ovation, but the match was much more well received by that audience. So I don't hate the idea of that presentation. It's basically the same thing as Hook, in essence. Come out, don't say much, stoic, kick ass, leave, right? I don't hate that presentation, but I think the follow through of what they're doing with it's bad. I digress. Let's keep talking about the card.
All right. So we are officially at the main event, the coffin match between Darby Allin and Andrade El Idolo.
Mm-hmm.
And
you have lots of thoughts on this match. Just dig in, just go to town. Go for it.
okay. I'm over Darby Allin, ladies and gentlemen. I know that's a hot take. I know people are going to roast me for it. That's fine. I will take it. But I just want a different match for Darby Allin. And the reason I say that, you can look at any of his big matches, all of them are the same thing. 90% of the time, he's getting the shit kicked out of him. And then the last 10 seconds, he pulls it all together and he gets the win. Like, there is no continuity to him. Like, it's just the same thing. Like, he doesn't have a solid back and forth match. I don't think he knows how to. And it's frustrating. And you would think the time with Sting would help. And I'm sick of him with Sting. So over him with Sting. And
yeah,
as soon as I saw the coffin match, and as soon as I saw it had thumbtacks on the inside, I knew 100% Darby Allin was going to win. I already knew. As soon as I saw everything like that, I'm like, yep, that's how they're going about it. And the match was good. Like, for what it was,
it would have been a fun match to see live. It's good spots. They went through the crowd. Sting did a dive off of another entryway onto everybody, and fun, cool, right?
3 years ago, I would have been into this match. The first time I got exposed to Darby Allin, I'd be all about it. But for 3 years, I've had the exact same matches. You know who else had the same match for 10 years? Who I can't stand?
John Cena.
Same thing. I mean, John, he just always had the 3 moves of doom, and he eventually made it to 5, which I'm proud of him. But it was just the same thing every single time. Like, his matches were the exact same every single time. It just got old. Like, give me something more, man. Right. And Darby is he's in that bucket for me. He needs to start developing, or I don't see him as a pillar personally.
Well, I think that, do something different. Like, the whole feud he had with MJF was fantastic. It was here in Kansas City when they had that big brawl on the outside, and he committed to doing he's like, I'm going to beat you, and he had an actual wrestling match, right? The Sting thing, I'm with you. I love Sting. I'm an old school Sting fanboy,
Same.
I mean, I love it. Pre-Crow Sting, even, old beach body muscle builder Sting, It's like, I don't get it. It's like he's Darby's he's Darby's daddy walking around with it. I bring your kid to Goth Wrestling Day. I don't know. The thing is, like, this we've seen a million times over, not just with a Darby Allin match. This Darby Allin match we've seen a million times over. Andrade keeps getting him and his Goonies beat up by Darby and Sting, and now the Hardys too. And it's just like, he should be TNT champion. Andrade should. He should have won that triple threat match. He needs to not be in this feud anymore. He needs to drop the whole family office thing altogether. But I don't know. I am with you. Like, I enjoyed the match for what it was. I had seen this a million times over, and it's very WWE-esque. It's predictable.
That's my problem. One of the best things about AEW is the fact, for the most part, they're unpredictable.
Yeah. And they've done some really creative things. Darby has produced like that whole cinematic match between Sting that they had against Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. Amazing. It was different. It was cool. Darby produced that motherfucker, and that's great. He's a very creative guy. He's got to have a better angle for some stuff instead of doing the exact same thing every time out. Maybe he doesn't, though. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know.
If you want to grow, you have to expand who you are. If you keep doing the same thing over and over, you will fizzle out, and that's the thing. Like,
and I think tonight we saw that on two fronts of these pillars. We already know MJF is what he is. It's fantastic. You know, he's the best heel in wrestling, right? Two of the other pillars we saw do that. Three, if you want to include Britt, and then Britt's kind of an MJF boat. She is what she is, right? But you had two pillars expand our horizons for what they are doing because they're making changes to things, right? Mm-hmm. And one is giving us the same flavor of ice cream again.
Yeah.
So
it's like pizza. Like he's pizza.
Right.
But he's pepperoni pizza every single time.
Which,
you know what? I wouldn't mind some meat lovers. I wouldn't mind thin crust. Hell, you know what? I'll do just beef. But pepperoni pizza every damn day of every single... I mean, I'll still eat it. And I will still like it.
It's still pizza, but it's like...
Exactly.
Beef, beef.
Exactly.
That's a callback, y'all.
So, you know, it's just one of those things. Okay, so let's get into positives.
Let's do that.
Okay, so let's talk about another pillar. Let's talk about another pillar. Sami. Positive on two fronts for me.
Okay.
And I want to get your opinion on this because I think you're probably in the same boat or have a little bit different variation. I like the fact that Sami is turning heel. Yes, I do.
Very much.
Because unlike Cody, the crowd's turning on him. And what does he do? He turns with them. He's like, you know what? Fuck you then. It's like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what you got to do.
That's how you play a crowd.
And then on the other side, the flip side of this, which is the part that makes me so damn happy, is one, I'm a Dan Lambert guy. People were cheering Dan Lambert. I'm like, absolutely. And he was saying the same heel shit he's been saying for a long time.
I know.
Heel shit.
But they're all, but the minute of the year, Dan Lambert, they're all turning face as part of this. Shit, we saw Scorpio and Kazarian have like a heartfelt moment. Kazarian was going to call out Sami, and Scorpio's like, give me this shot. You're my boy. We've been through all this stuff. SCU love, blah, blah, blah. Give me the shot. You get first love. And then, they bro out. And it's like, and then Dan Lambert's and then it's like they're turning face in front of our eyes too. They are literally doing what you should do and flip flop the positions. Cool.
Like when Dan Lambert delivered the line that if you don't give us this match, we are going to give... Let me read this right.
Yeah, read it right.
We are going to give you the kind of pounding your girlfriend can only dream about.
It's the same exact lines. The same things he's been doing, but just the way it comes across.
Because they're so over fucking Sami and Ty.
Well, but I like to. Here's another. So I agree with you for the most part, but I even more because, like I said, it feels like they're not just moving him heel, but they're moving Scorpio, Ethan, and which I think they might be setting Ethan up for a fallout with Scorpio. I feel like that might be a thing, which I'm for. I'm
not. I love them together.
I think they could put on magic in the ring. That's why I'm for that.
Oh, that's fair.
You look at the presentation of what they've been doing with Sami. Like today he had on this big fur. It feels like a better executed or similarly to what they did to like the outlandishness of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, right? And, when they were turning heel, it feels along that ilk. Now, not so in your fucking face because it's not WWE, but he has this big fur collared jacket thing or whatever, and obnoxious red shiny Jordans. I feel like all that's related is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and the thing is too, like. For Sami, this is growth because Sami's doing the heel thing on his own because he's already done the heel thing, but he's been part of a faction when he did the heel thing, and he didn't really talk. And there's a lot of reasons why he didn't talk.
He wasn't good.
He still isn't. I'm not even gonna say
he's better. He is better.
Sure. he's just phenomenal in the ring. He's a really good storyteller in the ring, and as soon as he can figure out how to be a storyteller with a mic, that kid is legit. And that's why he's a pillar. Because you could see he has it. He just hasn't developed that part of his skill. But the thing is like now he's able to stand on his own 2 feet and do this heel thing. Ethan Page is probably the second best guy in the company at this point, and that's a bold ass statement with a mic in his hand. And he delivered tonight. Like this was a fun ass segment. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would.
This kept this whole thing relevant in a better way, I felt, than what they had been doing before, right? It to me also justifies what they had done with the title change and the way they're going about that and everything. But I think also, and I can't remember who it was, I think it was Bully Ray was talking about this, about Ethan's promo from last Saturday. And same opinion, in essence, that, but his whole thing was about the Dan Lambert side of it, that Dan Lambert, a manager, what they're supposed to get the heat for your guy, right? And Dan Lambert was so good, he was getting the heat for himself, which cool, but not intentional. And you've got Sky and, like, for weeks you had Sky and Ethan just sitting there, they'd just be laughing kind of loudly in the background, right? But now you give them the mic and you put it in front of him, and this is what they should be doing. And I'm like, that's, he knows a lot more about the psychology of stuff than I do. He's been in the industry for years. But that's the point, is that tonight it started with the rebuttal, started with Ethan. Ethan laid it out again excellently, and then passed it over to Dan to get the quips in, right? By putting over your guy, Sky. He put over Sky this time instead of being through it. Lost in translation is that the match next week is a ladder match for the title, because it was very much tacked on at the end, and that's on Sami. He's got to be better in the mic, right? But it's a ladder match for the title next week between Scorpio Sky and Sami, which is going to be amazing. And then also part of the stipulation is that Sami gets his mixed tag match at some point in time. So there's that.
So I can see the titles changing hands again on that ladder match.
I don't hate that. So. I don't hate the title. It's really the only title that changes hands for the world titles only had 4 people hold it, right?
Yeah, but this TNT switches like crazy, right? And I love the fact that it switches like crazy. And the women need to start doing that at least with one of their belts.
Oh,
that's another diatribe.
We'll talk about that after next week.
But they need to have 2 fucking matches in order to get that. But anyway, I digress. So let's.
You want to do House of Black?
Go for it.
All right. So House of Black come out to do another promo. And I didn't write down all the stuff. I was trying to take it all in, and I forgot to write down notes in total. So they start off talking about your eyes blackening and spreading. They basically made the Julia Hart reference from the get, and it was Brody King and Buddy starting off, at this time here. It wasn't just Malachi like the week before. So it was them 2 starting off and talking about the expansion of your eyes. And you're like, okay, you're talking about Julia. We know we are. And then, starts going into about the light and all this stuff. And they're not directing it at Penta or Fuego specifically, so it was all very vague, which I enjoy. And then Malachi comes to the forefront and does this like killer Icarus reference. I don't know if you have that printed, if you have the quote in front of you here, but it was Icarus died because he flew too close to the sun, something of that nature. Heather's going to correct me and chastise me for not taking better notes. I know. I'm sorry, Heather. But I mean, once again, continuing it, I think that, we're going to see Julia, because next week on Dynamite, there's a 10-person tag. It's the Undisputed Elite, so Red Dragon, Young Bucks, Adam Cole, versus a bunch of people, basically. Dante Martin, Lee Moriarty, and,
it was an open challenge.
Well, it's like a 10-man open challenge. So it's like a bunch of people. Brock Anderson's in there, and on the graphic it had also Pillman Jr. and Julia Hart kind of to his side, right? So we'll see her there. I still think it's a little ways out the way that they're doing the slow play, but they're making more and more directed references towards her. I feel like, kind of vaguely, veiled through all this Fuego Sun talk, because Fuego is not their rival, right? Fuego's it means to an end. No offense, Fuego. You're not going to be a long-term stable rivalry against the House of Black, but
No.
It's fun for Fuego to get a little pop. I like to see this. He takes stuff well, so it looks fantastic getting destroyed by Brody King, so there's that. But, like I said, a lot of kind of insinuations about the transmogrification and, of Julia. So I'm interested to see her next week. I want to see that eye continue to grow. And
me too.
I could watch an hour's worth of Malachi promo. He doesn't do it very often, but every once in a while he streams on Twitch, and it's him just kind of shooting the shit with fans, and it just is normal talk. He's like Keith Lee. He's one of those guys that just talks beautifully, right? You're just like, I just want to hear more of this guy. Love it.
Yeah, he is just. How can I put this into words? He is captivating. That's probably the best way I could put it. He's so smart and he's deliberate. Like, there's so many great things about him, and he just is so captivating with his words, his in-ring storytelling, like everything, man. Like, I'm a huge Malachi Black fan.
Well, he's hugely thoughtful in his presentation of everything. The setup, the long term, how we do.
Everything has meaning to him.
Very detail oriented. Which, being somebody, for Malachi, he's a person that is very into occult stuff, right? So that's not surprising because there's a lot of little nuances in there that tie into different things. If you really start studying, some of the occult lure and things like that. So I think that amplifies it, but he's just so damn smart. He's so damn smart. I'm putting it there, right there.
Yeah, no, he's great. I think we should pivot from this and just talk about the announcement.
That's all we really got left. There's a bunch of the little random logos. Rampage is going to be big this week. Dynamite's going to be big next week. There's that.
Rampage is going to be really damn big because of said announcement. So the big announcement, as everybody's already should probably be aware, it's been all over the Twitterverse everywhere. Not exactly the biggest kept secret either. Tony Khan was going out to make the announcement with New Japan's president as well, that they are hosting a show, Forbidden Door, June 26th at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. They were rudely interrupted by Adam Cole Bebe. He's actually the one who announced it, and he also said that he was going to kick things off with a Owen Hart match, qualifying match against Tomohiro Ishii.
This Friday.
On
Rampage. Cole Ishii. Ishii making the rounds makes me happy in general. Just saying,
Same. I'm an Ishii guy. But then, on top of that, he kicked it to another person, and it was King Switch himself, Jay White, coming out and said, it's not about New Japan. It's not about AEW. It's about the Undisputed Elite and the Bullet Club.
Because it's still his era.
I love the too sweet. Whoop, whoop. Oh, dude.
People are amped to see Jay White in America as much as possible, and he's been doing a lot of that with Impact. He's been a steady shower on Impact for the past God knows for a few months, right? But he just kind of made those kind of fleeting appearances on AEW, but This makes me so happy. This makes Jamie ecstatically happy. For those of you who are not watching and are listening to us, Jamie is trying to hold back a childlike smile. He's so happy. He's been playing with his pen because he just can't control his excitement. I keep hearing
I'm playing with this thing.
I keep hearing clicking going on, and I'm just like,
this thing opens. Yeah, because I'm trying not to.
You're trying not to explode because there is a thing. And I'm going to turn this to you because I know what you're going to say, and I'm not in disagreement with you at all. But there is a thing that is a very high likelihood that could be happening as part of this that I know you have been clamoring for. So here is your floor. Have at it.
All right, I'm already projecting the card now. Okay, so is the Owen Hart Invitational? I guarantee that they're gonna have some New Japan players in this thing. And the final is going to be, this is the final. Adam Cole.
Baby!
Tetsuya Naito. That's your final. I'm calling that now. Because Kota Ibushi's still hurt, or I'd put Ibushi there.
Right. Okada's... I'm
not there yet.
Oh!
I'm not there yet.
Okay, yeah, okay. I really thought you were going to do Okada in the final of that. But okay.
Oh, no.
You're fantasy booking more than I am. Please go, please.
Oh,
please,
yes.
Please.
So outside of this, we have to have some single matches. So we're going to have champion versus champion, and we're going to have Hangman Page versus Okada.
Ooh.
Champs.
Ooh. You don't think you'd get Punk Okada?
That was where I originally was in Chicago.
Punk Okada. I mean, I'm just saying that kind of writes itself, right?
It kind of does, but so does Tanahashi and freaking CM Punk.
Well, any of it. Yeah.
That would really, because Tanahashi could take the loss there. I don't think Okada could take the loss in the United States.
Well, you could. Punk could take a loss in Chicago.
In Chicago? Are you insane?
If it's against Okada, he could. It's fucking Okada. It's the goddamn Rainmaker.
Chicago wouldn't care. Here's the thing: you don't want to take away from Okada. You don't want to take away from him. And CM Punk, as much as we love it, CM Punk will take away because CM Punk will get the bigger pop. He will. Because he's in Chicago.
Well, do you think maybe they would do just then? Because, I mean, recently New Japan had the Windy City. I think it was last Saturday, as a matter of fact. And the main event of that was Ospreay Moxley.
Yes.
Do you think maybe they have Ospreay Punk or pull something else like that and then have Okada just make the appearance afterwards? Similar to what we saw at All Out where Suzuki just came out after the match. You know, because I mean, you don't need to have Okada wrestle for it to be a moment. Granted, we all want to see that. I know. We want to see him wrestle, period. But you've also got, the BCC, you got, one of Danielson's things about the reasons why he signed with AEW and did not go back to WWE was the possibility of Japan things, Well, here's a big Japan thing happened right in your fucking backyard. Okay, I'm with you there.
So we're going to have some tag matches as well. Okay.
True. Bullet Club's going to be involved in that.
Bullet Club's definitely going to be involved. GOD is going to go against, I believe they're going to go against Lucha Express or FTR.
I would see GOD and FTR.
I would love that match. But I thought of a different tag team for that as well. And that could be Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan, the United Empire. They're the current IWGP Tag Champions, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, that does track more for what FTR is going with their their belt collection shtick right now. So all of this, then they'll have no matter what.
And then they'll have a trios match. They'll have to have a trios match.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Because you got BC, you got the Blackpool Combat Club. You want to get them involved.
Blackpool Combat Club
somehow
going against the House of Torture. That's Evil Show and Yujiro Takahashi.
Ooh, evil,
dude. I've been thinking about this for just a little bit. As soon as you announced it, so
I can understand. I know
all listed right here. Then we're gonna have to have the TNT champion going against probably the junior heavyweight champion. That probably make the most
junior
sense,
or
right?
US. It could be US.
US is vacated right now because Sonata's hurt. So I don't know who that.
You don't know if
be.
they'll have a title. They might not. Who knows what they'll have by June? Yes.
Well, yeah, and the never open weight champion is Evil. He's gonna be part of the trios match, so it makes sense to probably have the smaller guy in El Desperado, the current junior heavyweight champion, going against whoever is the TNT champion. And I believe in June, Miro, he's back.
Mm-hmm. Miro's reportedly healthy. He's just waiting on a creative opening, which, I feel like it's coming very soon, honest to God.
Yeah, I feel like once they finish this stuff with...
Let's sort out Sami and Sky, kind of move on from that.
Put him right in. Yep.
Maybe even have him come in at the tail end next week to be the guy that, takes one of them into an angle with him, right? Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then there's one name left on both sides.
Well, you got Jay White you haven't named yet.
Mm-hmm. Actually, sorry, 2 names. We have 2 names left.
Okay.
I think Shingo Takagi have not announced him yet.
Okay.
I really think trying to figure out who he should face. This is the one I'm stuck on.
Yeah. Did you have any women's matches in there? Because I don't know if Stardom's going to be part of it.
I don't know if Stardom's if Stardom's involved. Then I got tons of names, but there's a
lot of good stuff I like to see if Stardom's involved. To be honest with you, but
or even if they bring back Joshi Pro.
Joshi Pro's not associated with New Japan, but yes, I know.
Yeah, but they could put him in there, and we get to see Maki Ito.
We're going to see Maki Ito. She's got appearances coming up this summer in America, so she will be she'll be on Impact on AEW in some capacity. I know it.
Mm-hmm. So actually, I'm going to make a quick change.
All right, Swerve. What you got?
Okay, the Bucks are going to go against the Guerrillas of Destiny.
That actually tracks better with storylines currently. So yes, I'm with you.
Or they do a 6-man and then
they can always do a 3-way tag match. I
feel like Will Ospreay's going to be there. I feel like Will Ospreay's got to face somebody who does flippy spinny shit as well.
To be, I'd like to see, I think it'd be cool to see Ospreay. You can see Ospreay Sami. That'd be cool, right? There's a bunch you could throw out there. I'd love to see Ospreay versus Penta.
I would like to see that a lot too. I'd like to see Ospreay and Ray Phoenix if Ray Phoenix is healthy by then.
June's that's gonna be close. He may be.
Okay. I have 2 ones left. So Wardlow. Would probably be in something. They might do like a buy-in type of Casino Royale Battle Royal. I don't doubt that.
I don't doubt that because you don't want to get as many people want to get at least a showing. So that makes sense.
If Kota Ibushi is healthy, him and MJF. That's it. That's it.
Just die happy.
Or if he's not, Shingo Takagi or Toru Yano, because Nato, I really believe Nato's going to be in that. But yeah, no, Okada. See, I feel like it's got to be Okada hanger because CM Punk, I feel like that take away from Okada. I just really do.
I'm with you. I get what you're saying there, and you do it, and you don't know you do it non-title, but champ versus champ, sure, right? Who's the better man? Hanger can take the loss too, and it not necessarily affect him. In a way, it plays into his, the anxious millennial cowboy shtick a little bit, right? So
Yeah. And
I
this is my
hear
thing.
you. I hear you there.
That match closes the show. Okay. Okada versus Hanger closes the show.
Do you think you would have a Kenny Omega sighting post match?
Yes, I do.
I just
Yes.
read your mind. Okay.
Yes. Then you have Okada Omega face to face on U.S. soil.
We've been teasing the fuck out of that for 4 years now, something like that. Pre-8.
And before that match even happens, Meltzer's already given it a 29 stars.
Oh, absolutely.
Before the match is even happened.
Absolutely. If it's in Japan, it's going to be 57. Meltzer might actually give AEW some extra love on these, but fuck Meltzer.
That'd be new.
What Jamie just did there was an exercise in possibilities, because this whole thing is just going. We can start shuffling these pieces around, and there's really no downside to a lot of this. I mean, there's other open possibilities there. We didn't even really touch some of these guys, Lance Archer wasn't even brought up, but he's there. You made mention of Miro a little bit, right? But there's Miro. You've got Ethan Scorpio. Either one of them going to be involved. We don't know. I mean, there's a ton of stuff. And then, like you said, we don't know if they're going to have Stardom involved as with that to give the women some cross compatibility. I hope so, because I mean, so many options. This is such a wonderful time to be a wrestling fan. I mean, who would have thought we would get this type of event? Now I just got to figure out how to get back to Dallas fast after my concert on the 25th.
Right.
So I don't have to sit there and try and avoid the internet for like half a day while I'm traveling just to not see any results. So we'll see about that. That's gonna be that's a JJ problem. But give us your guys' thoughts. Are you as pumped as we are for Forbidden Door? For Forbidden Door. And if you are, give us what match you're looking for down below. Let us know. Give us a tweet if you're not watching us on YouTube at Total Spotfest. Let us know what you're looking for. Do you like our fantasy booker, our resident fantasy booker general, Mr. Jamie Faulkner's card he has presented to you, or do you have some tweaks you want to make? I want to hear if anybody's got some opinions on that.
So if they do women, I want to see Britt Baker and Syuri.
Sure. I think
so bad. Or her and Utami. Haya Shishashita. I can't pronounce her last name.
My concern
is Utami.
I don't think they're going to have the women, and I don't think they'll have Stardom over. And here's why. I think that while I really enjoyed the tournament they did last year, 2 years ago, last year, whatever it was, the whole with the Japanese side and had the American side of it, they did the whole tournament. I don't know if that got across with AEW's fan base as much as they wanted. I feel like, and this is just me shooting from the hip. I feel like Japanese women, save for a few top names, interesting promotional things, Maki Ito, stuff like that. Or if you have somebody, a really big name, you get Asuka or Shida was one. Really, you don't necessarily get a lot of buy-in from the AEW fan base. Is what I feel, because I felt like a lot of times when they've had matches where they've had crossover, even going back to the first All Out, right, where they had that big six-way, there definitely was I have no idea who these people are bit going on, which is not a knock. It's not very well promoted in America. Stardom is. You have to dig to find. You have to search for it. You have to really be. Whereas New Japan, you can go to the front page of any dirt sheet, you'll see stuff about it. But Stardom's it's back a few pages, right? That's my concern. I don't know if that's warranted or not, but that's just the feeling I get.
Yeah.
I hope not, because there's some amazing talent over there right now. All right. One last thing before we go. Next week, well, this weekend, there's an event happening, and we are going to have the fallout of that next week. What is that event? Well, as you know, above Jamie's head there is a title belt. We had this little championship that we like to do. It's actually on the other side. He hasn't seen our new YMCA. Yes. Oh, we're doing some Truly Madly Deeply. Okay. Impact has their second of their big four pay-per-views. Agreed upon. This was the next pay-per-view that we would be putting the belt up for grabs. So the Total Spotfest Championship is up for grabs. Jamie defending that title against myself and the Tyrant.
Reigning.
That is, yes, we know you're reigning. I said you're defending it. Okay. All right.
Undisputed.
Settle down, Paul Heyman. All right. So defending that against myself and the Tyrant known as Megan Faulkner. And we will have the results for you to open our show next Thursday. Just to give you an idea, there's a bunch of good stuff checking out on for Rebellion this Saturday. Available on Fight TV. It's also available through their YouTube. You've got Josh Alexander and Moose going up for the Impact World title. That match is going to fuck. It's going to be so good. You've got two triple threat matches. You got Ace Austin, Mike Bailey, and Trey Miguel for the X Division title. And then you have one they just kind of threw together out of nowhere. Jay White, Chris Sabin, and Steve Macklin, because who loves wrestling, right? You've got an eight team elimination challenge for the Impact World Tag Titles. 8-team eliminator match, which includes Motor City Machine Guns and Jay White and Chris Bay. So Jay White is in 2 matches on this fucking show, right? Tomohiro Ishii versus Jonah. I mean, have you bought this card yet? Seriously. Rosemary,
Right.
Tasha Steelz. All sorts of great stuff. You got the Inspiration rematch against the Influence for the Knockout Tag titles. Whole bunch of things going on. I didn't even get to all the matches too. Taya Valkyrie's going to be there, going against Deonna Purrazzo. Well, once again, not everybody I know is as big a fan, is really into Impact. I say give it a shot. Like, this is, like, look at this card. You got Tomohiro Ishii, Jay White, Jonah, Josh Alexander, Moose, Speedball Mike Bailey, Steve Macklin. I mean, Taya Valkyrie, Deonna Purrazzo. Come on. This is a killer card. So we will have results next week to open our show, where we will hopefully, maybe, crown him a new champion. So, or not, or be the same champion. Either way, we will we will give you those results next week. So stay tuned for that. And that's all that I had. Did you have anything, Jamie, you wanted to tack on to that? Do you have more fancy booking? You're still staring at your rosters. I know you're trying to do more fancy bookings. Stop it.
Sorry, not sorry.
This is all he's
Like,
been
it
thinking
just
of all
gets me
night.
excited.
Like, literally, he's been like a kid in a candy store. He's just trying to hold it until he can explode. And then, yeah. Any final thoughts though?
Is it June 26th yet?
Not
No,
soon enough. It'll be.
But seriously, this is an amazing moment. Is another unification, if you will, of all these different people just working together, and they're both gonna make hand over fist on this thing. So it's just a beautiful thing.
What a
looking
time to
forward
be a
it.
wrestling fan, right?
Right.
I mean, it's such a great time to be a wrestling fan. And if you are a wrestling fan, we hope to see you next Thursday and Friday at Journey Pro at the Agnes. Apparently that's what they're calling it. They're just calling it Agnes. I still like Journey Pro Arena better, but whatever.
JPA Agnes.
So we will be there for Journey Pro. Come check us out if you're in Kansas City. If you're not, you can watch for free online Journey to Anarchy on Twitch. We'll be back on Tuesday with our interview with Chris Mowry of Journey Pro, a little preview of the thing. So please keep an eye out for that, and we'll see you, at this same time, same channel next week here for results of our pay-per-view title and what's been going on with the World of Wrestling in preparation of Journey Pro. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We do appreciate your time. Jamie, take us home, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down Total Spot Fest, I got 4 words for you.
Here we go,
Rated.
Steelers.
Defending. Undisputed. Champion.
Here we go, Steelers. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
Peace.